you have a hat? Place it on top of your umbrella and consult your pocket watch 3 times. Oh, dear me, I'm really sorry. The 3rd generation Skoda Fabia Estate. It's spacious, it's practical, they say it's simply clever. Should you care? Let's find out. Skoda, chodźmy.
It's not as if we don't have to deal with our shortcomings. It's not as if we don't have to wipe away the tears. From time to time we wouldn't lie. And here we are, we'll never be the same. And on the screens of our lives flash words of good songs that we've not yet sung. And we're not worried about.
Greetings from Scotland. I'm here with my videographer, Mr. Nick Franks, and he's letting me have a go in his 2018 Skoda Fabia Estate. Thanks, Mr. Franks. Thanks. So each of the Fabia models has been based on the Polo, but obviously they've been cheaper. This particular model was launched in 2015 and was facelifted in 2018. The engines available in the 3rd generation Skoda Fabia are a 1 litre 3-cylinder engine, either with or without a turbo, a 1.2 4-cylinder engine with a turbo, and some diesels, but we don't talk about those. It's a shame that with this 3rd generation model, Skoda didn't offer a VRS. The maximum you can get in a 3rd generation Fabia of any kind is 110 horsepower from this 1 litre 3-cylinder turbo. And actually, it's enough for most people, but if you're the sort of committed, hardcore performance enthusiast, you might have to look elsewhere. So the specification levels on this 3rd generation Fabia are S, SE, SEL, and a Monte Carlo edition. This is an SE which offers the best type of balance between value and equipment levels. In terms of how this car drives, it's very comfortable, it's very easy to drive, gear change is very positive. This one's only done about 4,300 miles, so it's barely run in, so it feels absolutely brilliant. But I've seen Fabias that go on sale with far more than 100,000 miles, and there's no doubt that this car feels very, very solid indeed. For some reason, the Volkswagen Group have elected to put a front differential into this car similar to the Volkswagen Golf GTI, and that apparently helps it handle better by braking the front wheels in hard cornering. But to be honest, one, I don't think you're even going to notice that, and secondly, the kind of person who buys a Skoda Fabia Estate is not even going to care in any way. If I'm honest, it's very difficult to tell most of the time that you're driving an estate car. It feels taut and it feels sharp and it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel lumbering. And with this 110 horsepower engine, where the car will do 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds, you certainly don't want the performance in most situations. One of the things I really appreciate about this car is that it's actually bigger in many respects than a Ford Focus, but not in the footprint. The interior space and the boot space is bigger, and yet the car is cheaper and takes up less space on the road, and the engines are very economical too. It's difficult to imagine a car that seems more conservative on the outside with something like a Skoda Fabia, but really, if you dress this up in its Monte Carlo edition and it looks all racy with black wheels and a black roof, then most of the people wouldn't think, wow, that's a Skoda. Most people think, yes, that looks really nice. In terms of the rivals of this car, when it was launched in 2015, there was the Seat Ibiza ST, and also there was the Nissan Note, and if you look earlier there was the Renault Clio Estate. All of those have actually been discontinued, and so the main direct rival of this car would be something like a Dacia Logan MCV. Now that costs a lot less than a Fabia. It's about 50% less perhaps, but it is much cruder and really not as nice to drive at all. So whether or not you consider that to be a direct rival is up to your own opinion. One of the things that strikes me about driving a Fabia Estate is just the comfort of this car. I imagine if you went for the SEL, which has standard cruise control, you could quite happily do 200-300 miles in one sitting in this car and not suffer any pains or any backaches at all. And I think that this would be a great way to tour the country very economically with lots of room for all your stuff.
We're not worried about the future and we're not guilty about the past. We're pressing on together into joy that will outlast these sorrows.
That was a really, really nice drive. Let's look at now this car's best feature, the boot. This car has actually got a bigger boot than a Ford Focus Estate. It's 530 litres. It's also got this really, really lovely load line cover. You just press it like this and it moves all on its own. If you follow me back inside these rear seats, you'll see that there is plenty of room in here. There's also Isofix for child seats, which is very accessible here. And if you fold these seats down, 530 litres of space, as I said, and good for very long items as well. The back seats are a little narrow, as in most cars of this type, but the headroom and the legroom is actually really good. This car isn't just about practicality though. There is some fun to be had in the front. Once you've positioned yourself into this seat, you'll find that everything falls really easily to hand. The steering wheel is nice to hold, there's plenty of adjustment in it for reek and rake. The seat goes up and down by this ratchet lever, and all the controls are really simple to operate. If you're familiar with a Polo or an Ibiza or an Audi A1, you'll find a lot of these controls very, very familiar. Everything's really easy to use, including this central touchscreen, which on this particular model is a 6.5 inch unit. What's interesting about this car is it feels better built than my Seat Toledo. The two cars do share the same platform, but this one is a little bit newer. The materials feel really nice. They might still be a little bit hard, this isn't an Audi after all, but they feel very functional and they feel as if they're going to last a very long time. The glove box, of course, is large enough for your secret mission documents. There's lots of cup holders here, there's two bottle holders in the doors, there's a credit card slot just here, and there's even a little clip here on the windscreen for parking tickets. In addition to the central touchscreen I've mentioned, this is the SE trim Fabia. It has a leather steering wheel, a leather gear knob, air conditioning, and it has autonomous emergency braking and a speed limiter for greater safety. It certainly isn't as fancy as a Volkswagen or an Audi, but then again it costs thousands and thousands of pounds less, and that's what you've got to remember about the Skoda Fabia Estate. It's more practical than an Audi or a Volkswagen, but costs thousands and thousands less and has much of the same DNA as those cars. So, what do I think of the third generation Skoda Fabia? It's not exactly a car that you would lust after in the showroom, apart from perhaps a Monte Carlo edition. But really, for most people, this would be all the car that they ever need. And for that reason, I find it quite hard to fault. Oh gosh, excuse me, sorry. Yes, it's alright, Mrs. Sorensen, I can come myself. I'll see you later.
Welcome to the Lloyd Vehicle Consulting YouTube channel. My name's Joseph Lloyd and I'm an independent vehicle consultant. This is where we do the famous Tweed jacket reviews. So if you like this channel and you wish for me to source a vehicle for you, please visit my website at www.lloydvehicleconsulting.co.uk, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel too if you wish. Thank you. We're on. Yep, we're on. Hopefully this works.